Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of IF and Love Cinema, El Mes de Terror edition, October 2023. And today I am talking about Robert Rodriguez's movie, The Faculty. This is a movie that I loved ever since I was a kid. It's always just kind of had a special place in my heart because it just instantly kind of sort of captured my imagination. I love the way that this movie is sort of about individuality, and as an outcast ever since I was a kid, that really spoke to me and stuff. And I used to watch it all the time when it came on TV. I would rent it whenever I couldn't think of anything else to rent. I haven't seen this since I was 18 or 19, and it was a completely different experience in the best way possible watching it after all that time. I appreciate that it is literal, and I mean this in the best way. It is literally just the thing in high school. And I don't just mean that in a cheap way, in the sense that it's the same movie set in high school. I mean that in the sense that it explores themes and ideas and characters that are unique to the high school setting and to the teenage experiences. And it really helps give the movie a unique personality, a unique identity of its own. This movie was written by Kevin Williamson of Scream fame, of course, and it kind of has his trademark cleverness, his attention to detail, his understanding of genre tropes and how to subvert them in very interesting and clever ways. And one of the ways that this movie does so is by really taking into account the teenage perspective and telling it from that point of view. One of the smartest moves of this movie is that the movie starts off in a very realistically, by the way, with the aliens taking over the bodies of the authority figures of the town, the teachers and the police officers. And then they corral the students afterwards to sort of infect them one by one. That is playing into the tropes of adolescence in some weird way, right? The idea that you live under these authority figures and you sort of give them an implicit trust, and you may not like them, but you do trust their judgment to some extent. So when all of a sudden these kids are on their own because all the authority figures have been taken over by aliens, it really gives this movie a different perspective, and it sort of hypes up the fear in a way that I wasn't aware of when I was younger. But I think that definitely spoke to me way back when. Movies always work the way they do. You just, sometimes you just don't notice them for a long time. You have the quote unquote dumb jock who wants to stop being a dumb jock because he wants to be intellectually challenged. Our final girl is a guy. It would have been so easy to actually have a drug dealer character, but instead what we have is this dude who is 18 but is still in high school because he got left behind a year. So he just uses his abilities as an 18-year-old to buy porn and condoms for high schoolers and sell it to them. And I appreciate that because it keeps the stakes realistic and low enough to sort of stay within that adolescent mindset. I mean, the worst thing that this kid does is crush up caffeine pills, and a way to show that he's a clever dude and is that he markets it in these pens that you could snort, so it looks like you're doing cocaine. He's a clever guy, but he's our quote unquote loser drug dealer burnout. You have the goth character who I think is just better to just let that be a surprise, but I like how all these characters both embody their archetypes, their stereotype proudly, but also are unique in their own way. Like Stokely is a goth chick. That's undeniable, but she also has this other layer to her that is really interesting. And I really like how in any other movie, the way her character's story wraps up would be a little bit insulting, but it totally works here, you know? It instantly makes you care about all the fantastic horror and action set pieces throughout this entire movie. This movie is just chock filled from beginning to end with one memorable sequence after the other. To me, the climactic point with the buses and Zeke's car, and then what happens in the gym, taking advantage of the high school world that it's set in, using all of it to craft a hell of a horror movie. Robert Rodriguez is in top form here as a director. I think Robert Rodriguez really shines as a horror director, in my opinion. I think that's the genre that he works best in. Planet Terror is its own flavor of fun. This is, I think, some of the best work he's ever done in his entire career. It's great to see Mexican directors make this kind of movie and be able to just knock it right out of the park. The Faculty, as you guys can tell, I'm a huge fan. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen it, so I would love to know what you guys think of it in the comments below. Other than that, that's going to be it for today's entry. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Until next time, peace.